The Washington Capitals tied for 6th in the Eastern Conference. The Edmonton Oilers, though, with a winning record, 8-7-1 versus the East. Should be a great matchup. Let's get you out there. Kevin, Drew, and Gene. Gentlemen.
All right, David, thanks very much. Welcome inside the Verizon Center for the final meeting of the season between the Edmonton Oilers and the Washington Capitals. Let's meet the starting goaltenders, brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the NHL. Victor Foss faces Washington for the first time in his career. He looks to make it 2 in a row on the road for the second time this season. And 25-year-old Braden Holtby is second in the NHL in minutes played, behind only New Jersey's Corey Schneider. His 22 wins are 7th most in the league and 1 off a career high.
21 straight starts. That's a guy who's getting the workload done.
He set a franchise record with 27 appearances. And he gets the start tonight after getting this night off in Dallas on Saturday, a 5-4 loss to the Stars. The Oilers, of course, coming off that 3-2 win in Florida in the shootout. And we are underway with a pair of fourth lines getting the start. Gordon, along with Hendricks and Klinkhammer, against Beagle, number 83, who throws a hit on Nikitin, along with former Edmonton Oiler and Edmonton native Jason Chimera. Tom Wilson is the other member of that fourth line as the puck goes over top of the netting and ends up in the seats. Let's take a look at the keys to the game. Brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Todd Nelson said he wants his team to get to them early, get after the Washington Capitals, try to push the pace as early as possible. For the Capitals, they are best when they're applying pressure in all 3 zones. They're making sure that they have good back pressure. They've got great forechecking pressure with some good speed, but also in their own zone, take away the time and space and try to limit the Oilers' time with the puck in the offensive zone.
Top line is on the ice now for the Edmonton Oilers. Jordan Eberle leads the team in goals. He's got 12, and he has the puck across the blue line. Lets the shot go, and it went off Brooks Orpik and into the corner. Nugent Hopkins to Hall in the corner. He gets surrounded. Nugent Hopkins gets it again. His shot was blocked before it got through. Joel Ward chips and chases. He is with Brooks Light and Eric Fair. Light from behind the corner. Gives it to Fair, back up top for Orpik. Keeps it in the blue line, throws it towards the net, deflected by Lycan. That one went wide. Hall chips it down the ice. No icing, and that will allow the Oilers to make a change. Guys talked about Washington and how hot they have been here at home. 7 straight wins. They've got 12 of their 24 victories have come at the Verizon Center. Benoit Pouliot on the ice right now. For Benoit Pouliot, this is his 400th game in the National Hockey League. It has been milestone week for the Edmonton Oilers. 600 games for Boyd Gordon, 700 games as Ovechkin moves ahead, gets tripped up on a penalty coming right up away to Benoit Pouliot. Net empty for the Capitals. Ovechkin lets the shot go and he scores. Alex Ovechkin gets his 26th goal of the season, and the Capitals have a 1-0 lead. And we have seen that shot before, Drew.
We showed it in the open. Great work in the corner by the Capitals. Nice little cycle, and Ovechkin just reads it perfectly. Little pass between the legs, and he's just going to drive the net. And then he sets up. What he is that he just kind of disappears, and now he waits and drills it. He loves that shot. But I think the key to that whole play was Alex Ovechkin's coming up really high and kind of disappearing from everybody and waiting for that pass. And when he gets in that position, the Capitals love to feed him.
He is number 1 in the league in shots on goal. That was shot 216.
That's his 4th goal in the last 3 games.
And a goal and an assist in the game against Dallas. He now has 8 career goals against the Oilers in his 10th career game. And it took 1:48. Teddy Purcell. Pass intended for Schultz was behind him. And the Capitals start back the other way. Cutting to the middle. Kuznetsov threw it across the crease, and it was picked off there by Schultz. Lander bounced it off Johansson. Capitals make a change, and so do the Oilers. Ovechkin came into the game 4th in the league in goals scored. Andre Burakovsky gets the assist. Along with Mike Green. A minute 48 into the period. The Oilers defeated the Capitals 3-2 the last time these teams met. That was back on October the 22nd. Hall under pressure there from Eric Fehr as he delivers the puck deep, and that line will change.
You can really see the Capitals having a lot of confidence right now. They throw pucks just to areas knowing that their teammate is going to get there.
Orpik gains the line, sends it around the boards. Waiting for it there is Tom Wilson. Beagle behind the net. Beagle checked. Wilson digging for the puck as well. Beagle gets knocked down by Oscar Klefbom. Chimera from the corner. He gets checked by Boyd Gordon. And it is Klinkhammer who bounces the puck down the ice. Going back to pick it up is Jack Hillen with a little help from Braden Holtby. Beagle. Outlet pass for Green. Joining the rush, trying to get by Klefbom. His shot steered away by Foss. Another one by Hillen. Stopped by Victor Foss.
5 guys up. Green, as you said, jumps up. He's the 4th guy, and the 5th guy, Hillen, jumps in, and he's got a shot on net.
Beagle dumps it in. Beagle played with Matt Hendricks when Hendricks spent time here in Washington. Hendricks played 203 games between 2010 and 2013. Yakupov can't get the shot away. Niskanen prevented that. And the puck gets by Nikitin. Foss will play it himself off the glass, intercepted by Backstrom. Holzman. Pass for Ovechkin, gets by him. Fane failed to negotiate with Roy. Burakovsky dumps it into the corner. Ovechkin is there. Ovechkin, 6th in the league in hits. He's 230 pounds. Nikitin. He had the game winner on the power play back on October the 22nd at Rexall. Winding up, Kuznetsov, his shot stopped by Foss, and he'll hang on to it.
Let's go back to the goal. The goal starts with some great work in the corner, and Alexander Ovechkin jumping into the open, getting a nice pass, and then sliding away from everybody else. Going up higher. Usually he likes to shoot that puck from a little bit more down low by the face-off circle. He slides up a little bit higher, disappears, and that's what goal scorers are able to do. Find that easy ice or that weak ice, and if you can't find him, he's going to find the back of the net.
Scored on a breakaway in the game against Dallas, but the 2 goals he got in Nashville, Drew, were carbon copies. Famous shot at the dot.
He just loves to shoot that puck from there. It's just his setup, and they look for him. His teammates look for him.
Here's a shot. He's going to the All-Star game.
No.
The only representative. Giveaway, Lander with the puck. Anton Lander dancing his way in, circles the net, could not get the shot away. It was broken up by Kuznetsov. Carlson leaves it behind the net. Coming in to pick it up is Johansson. Carlson, another guy having a great season. He's got 32 points, his career high 37. He has already matched his career high in assists at 27. Has the puck now up the middle for Kuznetsov. Evgeny Kuznetsov, shot goes off Klefbom's stick and up into the netting.
One of the areas that the coaching staff of the Oilers want to see the team improve on more is shooting the puck. Right here, they probably like Anton Lander to shoot. Shoot the puck if you get that opportunity. Todd Nelson talked about that, especially on the power play, getting more shots on net. But he said the one thing we want to do is shoot more, but you have to have a consistent message. And designing drills like we saw yesterday at practice that promote, stress, shooting the puck. If they didn't shoot the puck yesterday on a 2-on-1 drill, they had to back check all the way to the other end. So he's trying to put the pressure on the guys to get more pucks to the net.
Anton Lander with just 12 shots in 9 games so far this season. Schultz gets checked by Wilson. Chimera from the corner. Jason Chimera back up top to Green, snaps a shot, and that one goes wide. Klinkhammer plays it off the boards and gets it to Gordon. Gordon, outlet pass intended for Klefbom, but Gordon comes back on the back check. Boyd Gordon, first-round draft pick of the Washington Capitals in 2002, played 363 games as a Cap. Hall, his shot goes wide. Kept in by Schultz on the near side. Throws it towards the net. Sails over top of the cage. Nikitin with it on the far side. He will keep it in for Hall. Hall behind the net. Will leave it for Eberle. Jordan Eberle to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins could not get the shot away. Brooks Light came back and prevented that.
Yeah, it was a good play by Brooks Light to collapse because Ryan Nugent Hopkins trying to find that soft area of the offensive zone.
The Oilers with one shot so far. Eric Fair checked by Schultz. Pouliot comes in to help out. Schultz, quick pass to Derek Roy. Talking about milestones, before Ovechkin scored, mentioned 700, it was Derek Roy who played his 700th game recently. No icing. Ference takes a bump there from Nicholas Backstrom. Yakupov at center. Checked by Alzner. Alzner got it to Ovechkin. Outlet pass to Andre Burakovsky. Burakovsky drops it back for Ovechkin. Ovechkin snaps the shot and a great glove save by Victor Fost. As Ovechkin showed you that quick release. Ovechkin has the only goal. Fost prevents another.
Welcome back. As always, finding Oiler fans all across North America and NHL venues. Time to play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Kelly Heidbrecht of Edmonton could win $1 million. Shop at Safeway, and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
I like the E-Town lid.
Nice.
All the way here in D.C. His favorite team down by a goal. Oilers looking for their first shot. Just over 12 minutes left to go here in the first period.
Well, what they need, the Edmonton Oilers, is to find a way to move the puck a little bit quicker in their own zone. They're getting that 3-zone pressure we talked about in the Ford Keys. A lot of that is coming on the forecheck. The Capitals moving their feet, hustling off the bat. Boy, they sure remind you of that Barry Trotz Nashville team that he coached for all those years, don't they?
15 years in Nashville. Talked to him yesterday about that, and he said, you know, it's kind of like when your kids go off to college, only it's the parents that are going off to another city because his kids are staying back in Nashville.
It was a really nice, almost a penalty, I thought, but a really nice tribute that Nashville, the Predators, gave Barry Trotz when he came back last week. Fortunately, the Nashville Predators weren't as hospitable because they beat them late in the game, but it was a very nice video tribute to Barry that meant a lot to him.
Brouwer gains the zone, gets double teamed, puts it down low. Johansson against Petrie. Petrie pins him against the boards. Lander trying to fish that puck loose. He gets knocked down by Brouwer, but the puck comes to Ference. Tipped ahead by Fraser. Cut off by Green. Green with a quick up. Johansson as the Capitals want to make a change. Joel Ward. He had 7 shots in that game against Dallas. Eric Fair lost it to Eberle. Eberle starts away, gets cut off there by John Carlson. Eberle stays with it. Lost it at the last second to Brooks Laich, who gets it back to Carlson. Carlson under pressure from Nugent Hopkins sends it around the boards. Joel Ward to the middle for Brooks Laich. Laich will just be content to backhand that in, that it goes out of play.
This is the Sports Select Legends comeback kid, and he's proof that sometimes winning just works in your favor.
Get your game on with Tools.
You talked to Barry Trotz yesterday.
Yeah, and we talked about that transition and also about Alexander Ovechkin and what it's like to coach a superstar, and so far so good. Well, he's 13th all-time wins, got 581. And he also coached the coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Todd Nelson, when they were in Portland in the American Hockey League, and they won a Calder Cup. And that took place in 1994.
I thought it was interesting the term he used to describe Alexander Ovechkin. What do you call him? A good dude.
He's been called a lot of things. Holtby steers that puck aside, and here is Ovechkin. Ovechkin down the left side, moves to the middle. Ovechkin still has it. Ovechkin hanging on to the puck. Alexander Ovechkin lost it eventually to Derek Roy. And the Oilers, Yakupov, would love to have as many shots as Alexander Ovechkin. And I think the coaching staff would love to see Yakupov shoot a little bit more. We've talked about that so many times. He's got 92 shots coming into this game. 1-0 is the score. Rogers Oilers hockey right here on Sportsnet.
Fayne has played against Alexander Ovechkin several times in his career, obviously coming from the West. But this is a terrific job by Mark Fayne against Alexander Ovechkin. Tons of speed. Now Fayne is just going to hang with him. And that's all you can do. On the cross, you stick with your man. Watch the stick. Stick, stick, sticks. The stick is in the way, pushing Alexander Ovechkin, influencing Alexander Ovechkin to the outside. A good job by Mark Fayne. Good defense and that solid fundamental of having your stick in the way of the puck carrier.
The 15th time that Mark Fayne has faced the Washington Capitals in his career. Klinkhammer with the puck now. Passes it to Hendricks. Hendricks trying to jump by Hillen. Hendricks takes a bump there from Tom Wilson. Jack Hillen in turn gets hit by Klinkhammer, but the Capitals are away. Wilson waits, feeds Green. He slides it wide. Beagle can't center it. Green will hustle back as Chimera was covering for him at the point. Hillen stays in now. Chimera gives Schultz a bump as it comes around to Klinkhammer. Knocked down by Wilson at the end of the shift. Picked up by Green. 8:53 left to go here in the first period. Not many shots, just 5 total. Hall looking for the Oilers first. Whiffed on it, but a penalty coming. And the Oilers are going to get their first opportunity with the man advantage.
Well, they need some sort of spark right now. With 8:44 left in the first period, there are 0 shots up on the board for the Edmonton Oilers. They have not had much zone time. They have not really pressured Braden Holtby. And so the opportunity now for a man advantage goal, or at least some man advantage power play changing time in the offensive zone, where they're going to be able to get some momentum, is what the doctor needs, or has ordered for the Edmonton Oilers. Mike Green is sitting in the box going, really? I got the penalty for that?
He got an interference call. The Oilers were 1 for 2 in that game on October 22nd. It was Nikita Nikitin who got the power play goal. Hall with the puck now. Schultz is up top. Down low is Boyd Gordon as Eberle picks it up on the far side. Nugent Hopkins gives it back to number 14. Now it comes back up top for Schultz. Here is Hall. Taylor Hall goes cross ice. Eberle slides it just on the outside of the post. Schultz with it now. Schultz looking for a place to put it, but it went off of Nicholas Backstrom. Washington 22nd in penalty killing. Backstrom's broken his stick. Hall with the puck now. Hall lets that shot go and he missed the target. Eberle races over to keep it in. Nugent Hopkins with it now. Nugent Hopkins back to Eberle. Quickly to Schultz. Schultz to Hall. Hall walks in, lets a shot go, and he missed on the other side. And that one gets by Eberle and allows the Capitals to change. 55 seconds left to go in the penalty to Mike Green. Comes Derek Roy. He'll give it to Teddy Purcell. Purcell back to Roy. Roy to Yakupov. Snaps a shot. Holtby the save, his first of this hockey game. Good job to keep it in temporarily by Teddy Purcell, but then it was sent down the ice by Jay Beagle.
That was 1 minute and 20 into the power play before they got a shot on that.
Down to 30 seconds now. Here comes Jeff Petrie. Petrie takes a look, dishes to Lander. Missed him with a pass, and it's picked up by Niskanen. Lander lost his stick, and the Oilers are chased back into their own zone. Teddy Purcell under pressure there from Jason Chimera. Chimera gives him a bump, gets the puck. Chimera turns, puts it out in front, and sliding it just wide was Joel Ward. Yakupov gets it, and another penalty coming up, and it will be another interference call, but this time it's against Jeff Petrie.
So penalty coming up, Jeff Petrie. We run a little bit of a pick right here. That's a good play, smart play, but when you get caught, unfortunately, it is a penalty. Here's a good chance on the power play, even though it's not really a shot. It's a pass from Jordan Eberle looking for that tip. Boyd Gordon in front. Jordan Eberle just delays a little bit and just misses with the Boyd Gordon tip in front. But there still is that aversion to shooting the puck that is baffling. I know the coaching staff, when you talk to the coaches about it, they are confused as anybody about why that first power play unit especially is reluctant to shoot.
Just one shot on the Oilers power play. Now the Washington Capitals get their first chance with a man advantage. 1 for 2 against Edmonton in that game in October as well. But 0 for in the game against Dallas on Saturday. 0 for 3.
Barry Trotz has done a terrific job as he's come in with the Washington Capitals. Long time, as you mentioned, 15 years in Nashville. One thing that was often misleading about the Nashville Predators, people used to think that Nashville Predators were a slow team and they played defensive hockey. That wasn't the case at all. Barry Trotz always had that team going, had them going hard, had them bringing pressure in all 3 zones, and that's what he's got going with the Washington Capitals.
And he still is an attention to detail guy when it comes to defense. He has no minus players on this team. That includes the grade 8. Green at the point. So there is Ovechkin again. He fires it home for his 2nd goal and his 12th on the power play.
That is their power play. Alexander Ovechkin, we already told you, he likes to shoot from there. Nice entry into the zone. Green comes out. Now, Green makes a really good play once the puck goes back out to the point. He stalls everybody out a little bit. That little fake, just that little bit where he looks like he's going to go to the net and slides it over Alexander Ovechkin. It delays everybody, stops everybody, and kind of stalls the game for a second. And then Alexander Ovechkin sets up, waits, boom. On his stick, off his stick. Whew. That is a humongous shot. But it all stems from the fact of that power play is rolling 4th in the National Hockey League. Ovechkin leads, what do you say, his 12th power play goal now, but that goal is exactly how they designed that power play. A little bit of a
And for the second time in 3 games, he has a 2-goal game.
One more look. Starts low, goes back high. That little fake, and then Mike Green just lays it in the wheelhouse. There's not much more to that than terrific players executing the plan.
It is the 7th time this year he's had a multi-goal game. And Drew, the 92nd time in his career he has scored 2 or more goals in a game.
I watched him in warm-up today, and he had that pop, that fire that you see in warm-up. He was extremely focused watching every drill, and when he finished a drill or finished a shot on net, he'd sprint out of the zone. You could see that he wanted to get something going. They lost the last couple games, as you said. They've got a winning streak going at home. The captain was focused. We talked about Matt Hendricks being a guy who was the wagon, who pulls everybody along. Alexander Ovechkin tonight pulling the Capitals along. I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, it's just a phenomenal superstar hockey player. There's a lot of stars in the game, but very few superstars. The grade 8 is a superstar. From his goals, his points per game, game-winning goal, you name it, this guy does it. When you want offensive hockey players, when you want guys to score goals, Alexander Ovechkin is the guy. The next step for Alexander Ovechkin is being able to lead a team to the finals.
That's about all he's got left to do.
A big game.
He's got 9 goals in 10 career games against the Edmonton Oilers. And 2 here tonight, including his 12th power play goal. He also has 15 points in his last 11 games.
Well, the thing, too, about Alexander Ovechkin, and you mentioned it, and we already talked about it, shots. Alexander Ovechkin is a great believer in constant dropping where's the stone. He shoots the puck all the time. Something that some of the Oilers players should take note and implement into their game.
Came in with 215 on the season. 2 of his shots have found the back of the net. Petrie got his stick in the way of the Tom Wilson shot and put it into the netting. Rogers Oilers hockey from the Verizon Center here in Washington.
You talked about Barry Trotz and Todd Nelson. They work together.
Yep.
You talked to Todd about, what did he call Barry Trotz?
He said that when he was playing for Portland, the thing he liked about Barry Trotz was when you were at the rink, when you were practicing, it was all about the work. But as soon as you left the rink, he wanted to know about you as the person. He wanted to know about your family. He wanted to know everything, and he brought the team together. He called him a uniter.
Great line. I mean, that's a terrific thing. And Barry Trotz, Todd Nelson talks a lot about the culture that Barry Trotz is able to create that changed and made a difference in Portland.
Another shot by Ovechkin, whistles wide.
That was similar to that goal in Calgary he scored that we showed you in the open.
Pouliot moving in with Derek Roy. They crisscross. There's Roy with a shot. Big rebound. It gets by Yakupov. Back to the point. Petrie can't keep it in at the blue line. Backstrom. Stopped by Derek Roy. Brought in by Yakupov. Yakupov backhands it deep. Roy takes a look. He's got Hall out in front. Takes a hit from Backstrom. Ovechkin can't get it by Clefbaum. Yakupov lets a shot go. Rebound, score. Derek Roy gets his 4th goal of the year and 3rd as an Oiler. It's 2-1.
Couple things on this. Number one, Derek Roy and his work, but watch Taylor Hall as he's going to get inside. He's going to work inside. And that's what you have to do. Puck's going to go to the corner. Taylor Hall gets body position. He works inside. Good job on the pinch along the corner. Taylor Hall with a little bit of help. Boom, shot on net. And then what do? If you're down low, if you're Derek Roy, when you see the shot coming, you go to the net. A shot on net can produce all kinds of things. It produces confusion because the defensive guy has to turn and find it, and the offensive guy is right in position to make the play. A rebound, a second chance, and a big goal for the Oilers.
And response for the Oilers, 43 seconds after Ovechkin scores. The Oilers come right back on behalf of the Safeway Score and Win contest. And Purex Laundry Detergent. Vanessa Valgay of Edmonton has won the Krups Expressoria automatic espresso machine on the Oilers number 8. Derek Roy, his 4th goal of the year. He came in without a goal in his last 4 games. So everybody wearing number 8 in tonight's game has scored a goal. That's research, buddy.
Way to go, buddy. Good work.
3 shots for the Oilers, 6 for the Capitals.
What I like about that goal, too, is that Oscar Klefbom got involved by pinching down the boards. Taylor Hall did his work, terrific work along the boards, his support. A very good goal. That's exactly what the Oilers needed right now.
Klefbom and Yakupov get the assists. Yakupov, the shootout winner in Florida. And he gets his first career point against the Washington Capitals in his 3rd career game. And Oscar Klefbom now has 3 helpers on the year. Eberle dishes to the middle. Tried to get it to Fraser. That was broken up by Hillen. Shot back in by Mark Fane. Just over 4 minutes left to go in the first period. Racing after it, but not getting to it was Marcus Johansson. Kept in by Green at the point. 2 points on the night for him. Brouwer. Lander with a nice pass to Teddy Purcell. Crisscrossing with Matt Fraser. Fraser throws it towards the net, steered away by Holtby. Ferentz keeps it in on the far side. Green will pick it up. Get the puck out to center where Petrie will give it to the captain, Andrew Ferentz. Quick pass for Teddy Purcell. Too hard over the stick. Brought back in by Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov sends it around the boards. Waiting for it there is Tom Wilson. Chimera crashing in behind the net. Looks for the puck. A wraparound attempt is foiled as Tom Wilson tried to bring it from behind the cage. But this 4th line is putting on pressure right now. Wilson, side of the net. Purcell sends the puck slowly down the ice. Alsner in pursuit. He's got Hendricks on him. Found the boards, and it's picked up there by Wilson. To the near side it comes. Hustling after it with Klinkhammer to keep the play alive. Gordon behind the net. Hendricks in the corner. Checks Jay Beagle. The puck squirts free. Beagle comes away with it. He'll give it to Chimera. Chimera gives it back to number 83. He'll backhand it in. Klefbom races over and gets there ahead of Jay Beagle. Klinkhammer and Chimera looking for the puck. Opportunity for Wilson, and that is foiled by Schultz. Snapped in by Jay Beagle. The shot came from Carlson. It was tipped in by Beagle. And it's 3-1 Washington.
The defense getting involved again on this goal. John Carlson jumping in, and Jay Beagle's just left by himself. Not sure what happened on the coverage as we look back on this. Just a turn and shot towards the net. Matt Hendricks is coming in. He's playing up on Beagle. Justin Schultz a little bit late getting back. He was up high in the defensive zone, up by the face-off circle, and nobody picked up Beagle going to the net. Oilers were aggressive but lost coverage. Sometimes it's best just to go back to the net because you know the puck's going to come there. The person's going to come there. You don't have to go chasing the puck if it's way out to the side.
For Beagle, his 7th goal of the year, and for John Carlson, a career high in assists. He now has 28 on the year. And the Capitals restore their 2-goal cushion. Derek Roy pinned against the boards by Ovechkin. Backstrom gets it to Burakovsky. To Ovechkin. Ovechkin. Shot deflected by Nikitin. Comes out to the middle. Nikitin will give it to Derek Roy. Roy right back to Nikitin. Nikitin moving in. Nikitin checked by Niskanen. Eberle. Roy. Petrie snaps a shot. Holtby makes the save, and it's picked up by Burakovsky, and Burakovsky gets it down the ice. Wilson got the other assist on that goal by Beagle at 17:34.
Protecting what matters most to you and your team. You are covered with the power of Insight, the official construction insurance broker of the Edmonton Oilers.
Go back to the goal. This is just guys trying to do too much. Now, Derek Roy's going to try to take away the boards, take away the pass. Now, both Justin Schultz and Matt Hendricks come out to the shooter, which is Wilson, and everybody's going to slide over to one side of the ice as well. So that's just basically running around, chasing the puck. Instead of just settling down, come back to the middle, having some communication so that everybody's taken care of. Come back to your net because the puck's going to come there anyway.
Nugent Hopkins moving in with Hall. Broken up there by John Carlson. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Orpik will give it to Carlson. Joe Ward gets it out to center. I talked to Carlson yesterday and said, well, what did you do in training camp? I mean, you're on your way to a career year and it's only halfway through. And he just talked about this new coach, Barry Trotz, and the structure this team is playing with. And he also said, hey, you get it up to the forwards, you get assists.
It's funny, I saw Scotty Bowman in Tampa, and he talked quite often about how important it is to have defense that will get it up to your forwards.
5th in the league in points among defensemen is John Carlson. Oscar Klefbom behind the net under pressure from Brouwer. Johansson, Kuznetsov shot, just slides wide. Evgeny Kuznetsov from the corner down to 5 seconds, trying to get the last shot. He will not take it. And this first period will come to an end for the Washington Capitals on top by 3-1. And David, it was the great 8 early on setting the tone for the Capitals.
Welcome back. Rogers Oilers hockey on Sportsnet. CHL Top Prospects game. Team Moore versus Team Cherry Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Mountain or Pacific on Sportsnet. Nick Kiprios with Team Cherry. Doug McLean, Team Moore will be assistant coaches. Connor McDavid along with all the other top draft eligible prospects for the upcoming NHL draft in June. Meanwhile, the first period scoring summary brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord. Visit WorleyParsonsCord.com to find your place on our construction team. It's pretty straightforward, that opening period of play. Lots of Ovechkin, a little bit of Derek Roy, and then it finishes with Jay Beagle. And as a result, Capitals with 8 shots on goal, but have 3 goals on those 8 shots. Well, Alex Ovechkin is a star of the game, and why not talk about a star like Ovechkin, who has 3 shots in the opening period of play, but these, it's almost like they're 2 for each, considering how he can blast that puck. And this isn't anything new to the Oilers or any other National Hockey League team, because when he's got it, he likes to get rid of it. So much so that when it comes to shots on goal, look at the numbers that he continues to put up. One day he may surpass Phil Esposito's record of 550 that was set in 1970-71 over the course of 78 games. Okay, I am done. I'm not sure Ovechkin is done, but Ovi, to you guys.
218 shots on the season so far for number 8 as the second period is underway. The Oilers' top line on the ice, and it's Hall with the puck now. Hall back to the point. Schultz waiting for it. Gives it to Klefbom. Klefbom deep for Eberle. It comes to Hall. Hall being watched by Eric Fair. Nugent Hopkins for Hall. Hall has Carlson on him as he gets it to Nugent Hopkins. Deflects into the corner. Hall going after it. Orpik gets there first. Hall stays with it. Nice move around John Carlson. Nugent Hopkins to Eberle. Got shoved down there by Orpik. Nugent Hopkins could not get a shot away. Broken up by Joel Ward. Ward has the puck now. He'll give it to Brooks Light. Dump it in the corner. It comes right to Victor Foss, and with Ward there, he'll cover it up.
Well, not a bad shift to start. Taylor Hall, you mentioned the nice move behind the net. He's got his feet moving in the offensive zone, working hard in those tough areas, which is what we used to call the quiet zones, which is in the corners and behind the goal line, but not anymore. This is where all your work gets done. If you can work in this area, a nice little slick move right there past John Carlson, a little shimmy shake, and he's by, and he tries to feed Ryan Nugent Hopkins. With Taylor Hall, when he's got his feet moving, when he's engaged like that, he's a tough player to contain in the offensive zone. And that's a good shift to start off 52 seconds into the period.
And his first half of the season, remember, he had the momentum taken away from him by that knee injury. He said he may have come back too quickly.
I don't think there's any doubt that he did.
And he's just got to get his scoring confidence. He is getting his points. He's got 4 in his last 5. But for him, it's about scoring goals, and he hasn't done that in the last 4 games. Now Fane sets a shot, and that one misses up high.
Whose stick is that?
Stick goes flying. That's Burakovsky,
oh, my goodness.
the 19-year-old. First-round draft pick in 2013. He must feel that he's won the lottery playing with Alexander Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom. They've had lots of guys auditioning on that right side, and right now it is Burakovsky's turn. He has the puck. Andre Burakovsky, the Austrian, shoots it in. Nikitin sees it get by him, but it comes to Pouliot, pushes it out to center. Picked up there by Alzner. Moving into it, Backstrom snaps a shot. Voss makes an easy save. To the corner it goes. Alzner and Petrie come together. A bouncing puck controlled by Carl Alzner. Back to the point. Covering is Brouwer. Shot. Voss didn't see it all the way. Corey, that was Marcus Johansson who let the shot go. Voss made the reaction save.
I didn't know how Andre Burakovsky lost the stick. Watch Matt Hendricks coming right through the middle of the ice. Stick pops out of the air. It's going high, high, high. Watch Hendricks. Or watch, I'm sorry, Rob Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer almost grabs it. He almost catches it. Now that would have been a Rogers play of the game right there.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
Petrie. The pass to Fraser. He'll go cross ice, pick up Ferentz. Ferentz for Purcell. Teddy Purcell, lots of experience in playing this Capitals team. His 24th game. He's got 22 points in his career coming in. Of course, a lot of that, all of it spent with Tampa Bay.
Is one of the reasons that Washington is playing as well as they are. Troy Brouwer. Troy Brouwer, when you talk to people that have been around Troy Brouwer and played with Troy Brouwer, this guy is one of those character guys, those glue guys you have on your team. He's one of those guys like Matt Hendricks who drags people along with him. He's a player of exceptional character. He's a team guy first. And Troy Brouwer is one of the guys that Barry Trotz relies on to help bring that culture right to the forefront, that winning culture.
And he is one of 6 players on this Capitals team with over 11 goals.
That's a really interesting point. They've got everybody chipping in.
Ferentz lets a hard shot go, and that was blocked. Alzner picks it up, being tracked there by Matt Fraser. He'll give it to Niskanen. Niskanen to Wilson. Wilson to Beagle. Beagle back to Wilson. Tom Wilson with a shot blocked by Ferentz. Beagle behind the net. It is Petrie who comes away with it. Pass for Fraser. Just out of his reach as he was checked by Carlson. Brooks Orpik from behind his net as the Oilers make a change. 10-6, the shots on goal. Tipped in by Chimera. Hall checked Beagle. Petrie played it off the glass, looking for Hall. Eberle. Back to Clefbaum. Pass picked off by Carlson. Carlson will wrap that one around the boards. Schultz comes back to the near side. Picked off there by Eric Fair. Fair. Joel Ward. Ward along with Brooks Laich. Blake Leaves it in the corner for Ward. Ward to the near side for Carlson. Steps into a shot, and he whistled that one wide. Hall pushes it out to center. Carlson turns. Checked by Hall. Hall brings it in with Nugent Hopkins. Snaps a shot. Holtby makes the glove save, and he'll hang on.
Everything you want and a few things you never imagined. Manitou. You've never seen a pontoon like this before. Available at Martin Motorsports.
Taylor Hall again, moving his feet, hustling up. Now he's going to come up, read the play very well, cuts inside, gets inside again on John Carlson, steals the puck and gets a shot on net. So far, what you're seeing from Taylor Hall, you've got to like his game.
Derek Roy, the goal scorer for the Edmonton Oilers, with Pouliot and Yakupov. Fane and Nikitin are on the blue line. Nikitin, a shot. Kind of changed directions. And it was handled by Braden Holtby.
You know, early in the season, talk about a guy that came back from injury too soon was Nikitin. And his game suffered, and everybody is saying that this Nikitin signing hasn't worked out. It's not working out. It didn't work out yet, but now when you watch Nikitin play, his game is now settled down, and he's starting to be that defenseman that was in Columbus, was a steady influence, was a guy that played good D, was smart about his game. Now every defenseman is going to get lost a little bit in a game because that's just the way it is. But I think when you see that he's healthy now, he has settled down.
Halsner's shot blocked. Yakupov to Nikitin. Nikitin around to the near side. Pouliot waiting for it. Pouliot checked by Niskanen. Pouliot goes down. Hey, he's played 400 games. Come on, a little respect.
Yeah, Matt, you're a young guy.
Benoit Pouliot. 6 goals in his last 5 games. Backstrom feigns no stick. Shot by Burakovsky. Did not get all of it. Foss make the save, but here is Ovechkin to give it to Green. Green with Pouliot on him. Green to Backstrom. Backstrom goes cross ice. Pillen shot. Blocked by Nikitin. Head into the corner. Nikitin kicks it ahead for Yakupov. Yakupov can't get it by Backstrom. Nicholas Backstrom as the Capitals able to make changes. Pillenless shot, and that broke the stick of Derek Roy. Fane and Roy without sticks. The Oilers need a break, and they do get the puck out. Green turns in his own zone as the Oilers get their top line back on the ice. Mike Green centers it in front for Beagle. Good play by Schultz. Beagle. As Schultz sends it around the boards, he comes back to Orpik, throws it towards the net. Deflected wide. Picked up now by Chimera. Chimera on the near side. Worked over there by Nugent Hopkins. Got it back to Orpik. Keeps it in, puts it towards the net. Orpik will race to keep it in again. They'll get it down low. Chimera snaps a shot from a sharp angle. That gets deflected up into the netting.
All of that work and effort by the Capitals, that pressure that they had on the Oilers was all because one player didn't get the puck out when he had the opportunity. You don't get pucks out against a team that skates well, that pressures the puck, that doesn't give you time and space, and attacks the offensive zone. You are going to spend too much time in your zone.
And we saw the game in Florida. Victor Foss made a point of going over to nail Yakupov when he did it against the Panthers.
It's a couple things. One, Nail's got to understand he's got more time than he thinks he has. But two, that's got to be communicated to him. You got to talk to him. You got to yell. You got to support out there. And one of the ways you can support is by skating over and helping the guy, but also by talking to him, communicating.
Klinkhammer, Gordon, and Hendricks, the forward line now. And Niskanen off the boards. Pass intended for Troy Brouwer. Broken up by Andrew Ferentz. Gordon. Brouwer. Moving in. Brouwer. His shot stopped by Victor Foss. Reach for the rebound. It's still alive. And Rob Klinkhammer starts back for the Oilers. He's got Hendricks with him. Chips it in. Kuznetsov. Stopped by Klefbom. Niskanen. He'll be content to shoot it in. Schultz will reach for it as the Capitals make changes. Oscar Klefbom with a pass just out of the reach of Matt Fraser. Tipped in by Backstrom. Klefbom gets to it first, sends it around the near side. Ovechkin, though, on the intercept. Alex Ovechkin with Lander watching him. Ovechkin turns to get away from number 51. Stumbles and goes down. Capitals, though, keep it in. Burakovsky's shot, and that one goes wide on the stick side. Ovechkin first on it. Pass to Backstrom. Checked by Teddy Purcell. Teddy Purcell starts back for the Oilers. Turns at center and chips it back in. 12 minutes, 35 seconds to go here in the second period. The shots are 12-8 in favor of the Capitals. Yakupov. Centering pass stopped by Backstrom. He'll get it around to Andrei Burakovsky. Burakovsky will give it to Chimera. Chimera, one of the quickest players still in the league. Fane goes down, lost an edge, and a penalty coming up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
When we come back, Mark Fane is in the box. The Caps on the power play.
Welcome back. A reminder, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Purex laundry detergent.
Mark Fane in the box for putting his hand on the puck. I think this one was debatable. As he comes back now, he's going to lose an edge. And when he loses his edge, he's going to lean forward and land. And as he puts his hand on the puck, he throws it back underneath him. The referee deemed that he had kept his hand over the puck, concealed the puck for too long. That's why the 2 minutes was there.
Second power play for the Washington Capitals. Ovechkin scored on their first power play. Trying to jam it home was Marcus Johansson. Bosch covers up and gets the whistle.
You heard Corey Hirsch and Billy Jaffe talk about the weapons that you have, the options that you have. So you got Troy Brouwer in the middle, then Marcus Johansson down low. So you want to cheat up a little high, take away Brouwer, or take away that offside pass, the weak side pass to Alexander Ovechkin, and that way Johansson has that path to the net.
The Oilers' penalty killing has improved up to a top 10 on the road. They are ranked 7th in the league. They have given up one here to Ovechkin. Backstrom checked by Petrie. Gordon against Johansson. Brouwer in there trying to dig it free. Gets it back to Green. Green works it across the line with Gordon tracking him. He'll play it around to the near side. Marcus Johansson checked by Petrie. Petrie, Hendricks, Gordon, and Ferentz. Petrie to Hendricks. A shorthanded goal for Matt Hendricks in the game against Florida. Long shot here to Holtby, and Holtby with a quick up for Brouwer. Thwarted by Oscar Klefbom. Matt Hendricks has 3 shorthanded goals in his career. 2 of them as a member of the Oilers. The other one he scored as part of the Colorado Avalanche. And an icing call against the Capitals. Pouliot, Purcell, Nikitin, and Klefbom, the penalty killers, with 38 seconds left to go, and the penalty to Mark Fane. Purcell wins that draw. Nikitin with a hard shot. Holtby handles it. Ovechkin will give it to Kuznetsov. Evgeny Kuznetsov. Green with it now. Green checked by Klefbom. Green circles the net. Nikitin took it away, and he hit his teammate with it, but the end result was good as he got it out.
One of the other things Billy Jaffe was talking about before the game was talking about the aggressive penalty kill and how the Oilers had done a good job in previous games in the neutral zone and contesting their own blue line. Right now, the Capitals are entering with ease. Good play there on the back pressure right there by Boyd Gordon.
And the penalty is over. Fane is out of the box. Capitals now 1 for 2 with the man advantage. Carlson to Ward. Joel Ward chips it in. Burakovsky going after it. Burakovsky in the corner. Gets knocked down. Hall's got it. Taylor Hall drops it back for Schultz. Nikitin Nice pass for Hall, just a little bit out of his reach. Burakovsky with it up for Ward. Joel Ward moving in. Ward crashes the net. The puck goes wide, but Ward ends up in the cage and takes it off the moorings.
That is taken into the net. Wow. No fear at all. Victor Foster saying, you all right? You okay, buddy?
Joel Ward, one of the 6 players with 11 or more goals on this Washington team, but he has not scored in the last 4 games. But it's not for lack of trying, and look at this play as Ward drives in on Foss, who keeps his calm, keeps the puck out. Tonight's Outstanding Play is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
I'm going out on a limb, saying we're not going to get more of an outstanding play than these 2 goals from the grade 8. Beautiful one-timers on the power play, both of them labeled for the back of the net. So that's why this early in the game, we're going our outstanding RE/MAX play. Alexander Ovechkin, 2 big goals.
27 on the season for him. Ward with a backhand that goes off the glass. Kept in by Fair to Light. Ward around the boards it goes. Orpik waiting for it. Orpik deep again. Ward is there. He takes Schultz into the boards. Eric Fair to Light. Back to Orpik. Fair goes cross-ice. Carlson throws it towards the net. Nugent Hopkins gets it out. The problem here, Drew, as we've talked about before, is the top line is spending too much time in their own zone, but here they come now. Nugent Hopkins to Eberle. Jordan Eberle, drop pass for Schultz. Schultz over to Hall, but that pass was broken up by John Carlson. Schultz gathers it up in his own zone. 8:35 left to go here in the second period. Hall, cross-ice pass, intercepted by Nicholas Backstrom. Alsner, intercepted by Schultz. Pass for Derek Roy. Derek Roy cutting around Carlson. Gets cut off. Alsner to Backstrom. Petrie at the blue line, keeps it in. Carlson just made a kick pass to Burakovsky. Andre Burakovsky. Checked by both Pouliot and Ferentz. Alsner steps into a shot, and there is Victor Foss at the top of the crease. Calmly gets the glove on it.
Introducing the new BF Goodrich KO2 tire. BF Goodrich. Take control.
You know me, you're probably tired of hearing me say it. Shoot the puck, but Taylor Hall wants this puck from slapping the stick on the ice. But John Carlson hears the stick, as well as Justin Schultz takes away that pass. Good quick stick by John Carlson, who has been out of the ice a lot when Taylor Hall's been out there. That one you'd like to see Justin Schultz shoot it, instead of Taylor Hall taking the outside path, take the direct path to the net, maybe get a rebound.
11 shots for the Oilers so far. Nice move by Derek Roy. Roy got it by Niskanen. There is Ferentz hammering his shot just wide. Petrie on the far side. Keeps it in for Yakupov. Benoit Pouliot. Checked by Johansson. And the Capitals start away. Troy Brouwer. Ahead to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov tries to get him the return feed. He was knocked down by Ferentz, and here comes Jeff Petrie. Petrie stopped up. Throws it behind the net. Wants to get a change in. Marcus Johansson. Pass off the stick of Anton Lander. Kuznetsov forced back into his own zone and had his pocket picked there by Teddy Purcell. Nice pass to Fraser. Fraser's shot blocked up by Green. Anton Lander, though, carries on. Lander in traffic, gets the puck to Fraser, who got a new stick, throws it towards the net. Holtby makes the save with a glove hand, no rebound.
Speaking of Braden Holtby, wow, what a busy guy he's been this year. 21 straight starts he had. 14-3-4. That's the most impressive part. That's why you keep getting put back in the net. You get 14 wins and you get points out of 18 of the 21 games. But his numbers are absolutely outstanding, and he's going to be due for a little bit of a raise.
His last 2 years, he's had 23 win seasons. You saw the numbers. He's got 22 victories so far. We talked about 21 straight starts. I also mentioned a franchise record 27 straight appearances. Justin Peters gave up 5 goals on 26 shots against Dallas on Saturday. He's lost 2 in a row. He's probably got a lot of cobwebs. Ward behind the net. Ward works it back to Orpik. Brooks Orpik keeps it in for Fair. Now to Brooks Light. Light checked by Klefbom. Light puts it to Orpik, who has to retreat back into his own zone. Light turns, gives it back to Orpik. Orpik to Carlson. Carlson. Pass to Ward, and a hard pass there for Eric Fair. Didn't work. Fair went 15-1 in the faceoff circle in that game against Dallas. Orpik hammers a shot off the glass. He said he's never done anything like that before. He doesn't take that many draws. He and Brook Lights also kind of alternate there. And the other thing, Drew, is he did it on the road. You got to put your stick down first.
Yeah. 14 goals he scored this year. Ooh, that was a close chance right there.
Niskanen pinching in to Beagle behind the net. Chimera to Beagle. Watched by Fraser. Chimera again from the corner. Chimera works it back to the point. Niskanen with a wrist shot through traffic. And that one dribbles just wide. Wilson to Chimera to Beagle. Beagle to Chimera. Chimera takes a look. He had the Beagle at the corner of the net, but Klefbom broke it up. Fraser trying to get it out.
Does this line put some pressure on you? This fourth line keeps you in your own zone. Those are great minutes for a fourth line.
Niskanen's shot is blocked there by Klefbom. But the Oilers need to get possession. As Chimera gets it to Niskanen, his shot stopped by Foss. Alsner dropped it back, kept in by Tom Wilson. And now the Oilers can skate it out. Anton Lander cutting for the net. Anton Lander with a shot and a pad save by Holtby and a penalty on the way. And it will be a hooking call against Tom Wilson. Anton Lander again going to the net, and he gets the Oilers a power play.
He's all grown up now, but when Andrew Ference was growing up in Edmonton, he was a player as part of Edmonton Minor Hockey League, an event that continues on now, sponsored by QuickCard, and it is one of the largest hockey tournaments. Wrapped up this past weekend in Edmonton, the Bantam Tier 2 division. Sherwood Park Kodiaks defeated Beaumont 3-2 in overtime to claim the championship. Josh Hebert, son of longtime Oilers PR director J.J. Hebert, was a member of the Kodiaks team who still remain undefeated thanks to the kids, the coaching, volunteer referees, program sellers, and everybody who makes Edmonton Minor Hockey League, brought to you by QuickCard, such a success every single year. Drew and Kevin.
My understanding is Josh often sends his dad, JJ, texts during the Oilers games about things that the Oilers could improve on.
See if he has any advice for this power play that has its second opportunity in the game. Wilson off for hooking. Nugent Hopkins back to Nikitin. Nikitin, nice pass to Hall. Hall, pass attempt back to Nikitin. It was broken up there by Brooks Light. But they have got a shooter in the form of Nikitin on the blue line in this first unit power play. Nikitin brings it up himself across the blue line, gets tripped up. Hall has to wait. Now he will gain the zone. Light can't get it by Hall. Taylor Hall. Back to the point. Nikitin across to Eberle off the end of his stick. And once again, it is Brooks Light who sends it down the lane. Foss. Long pass for Yakupov, but that is going to be icing against the Oilers.
Anton Lander had come on to the ice from the blue line gate, and so he was way offside. So on this long pass, he was going to be offside anyway. Lander's going to come on as well from that offside gate, and right now this play is way offside. There's no chance that's going to work.
Down to 57 seconds of power play time for the Oilers. Derek Roy leads Lander and Yakupov. Roy to Lander. Lander drops it back to Schultz at the point. He and Teddy Purcell are there. Schultz will give it to Purcell. Teddy Purcell moves in. Here's Lander at the side of the net. Feeds it out in front for Derek Roy. Hopped over his stick. Jay Beagle's got it. He'll get it out to center. Schultz to Roy. For Teddy Purcell. Back to Roy. Checked by Ward, carrying on, going cross ice for Lander. Tips it in against Alsner. Niskanen gets to it first. He will give it to Joel Ward, and Ward skates it out. Now he'll fire it down the ice with 10 seconds left to go, and the penalty to Tom Wilson.
Wow, that was messed up, that breakout.
Danny Purcell. As Wilson steps out of the box, the Oilers did not get a shot on that power play. They're now 0 for 2. 17 shots for the Capitals, 13 for the Oilers as Ward moves in right out in front, looking for Chimera. Stopped by Foss.
Great drive to the net by Jason Chimera. Nice pass. Victor Foss read that play, got over in time, and Victor's been very good this period.
He has 15 saves so far. Jason Chimera can still get down the ice at 35 years old. Ovechkin fanned on the shot. To the corner it goes. Boyd Gordon plays it high off the glass, and a pop fly for Carlson. Burakovsky brings it in. Burakovsky's shot. A sneaky wrister that goes wide. Pillar can't keep it into the blue line. He will wait. Now he'll shoot it in. Burakovsky leaves it for Green, going cross ice for Ovechkin. Read neatly there by Petrie. Petrie to Eberle. Jordan Eberle with a button hook. Eberle, Nugent Hopkins in close quarters. Picked off by Green. Green to Burakovsky. Gets it by Klefbom. Fane back into his own zone. Will drop it for Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins up for Hall. Green right on top of him. Fair. Under pressure from Nugent Hopkins, who leads the team in takeaways. It comes to Ward. Ward. To the middle it goes. Brooks Light trying to split the defense. Eberle in there to help out. Back to Niskanen at the point. He'll get it to Ward. Centering pass for Fair. Eric Fair drives the net. The puck's loose and it's cleared away. On a nice defensive play by Mark Fane. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Eberle checked in his own zone. The puck comes to Hall. 2-on-1 with Nugent Hopkins. Hall to Nugent Hopkins, and Holtby slides across and makes the save.
What a save by Braden Holtby. We may be looking at that at the end of the game. That could have been a huge goal.
Down to 30 seconds in the period. Nugent Hopkins trying to find his first goal in 10 games. Yakupov dancing, trying to get a shot away. Was Schultz. He couldn't do it. Steals the puck to Pouliot. 10 seconds to go. Derek Roy gets dumped by Niskanen, and Derek Roy is hurt.
Stuck the knee out. Derek Roy is in some discomfort. Matt Niskanen tries to get a piece of Derek Roy, and he does, but he does so by extending his leg. Good to see that Derek Roy is up, putting weight on the knee, putting weight in skating. That's good to see.
TD4 is immediately out to check on the condition of Derek Roy.
There's that left leg going to get way out there. It takes out the left leg of Derek Roy. That's just before that. I hope that Derek Roy gets back. Braden Holtby talking to Justin St. Pierre and saying, yeah, this is what I do. I'm paid to do this. Big push across, and next year I'm going to get paid a lot more if I keep making saves like that. Before that, Jeff Petrie, there it is, number 3, looking for that third goal. Jeff Petrie says, nope, I read that. I saw you do that in the first period. Jumps out, takes away that puck, that possible hat-trick shot for the Great 8.
6.9 seconds to go in the period. Third power play for the Oilers. And there is the second goal against the Washington Capitals on the power play by Nikita Nikitin. He hammered that past Holtby to make it 3-2.
Can you say huge goal? You want a chance of coming back in this game. A huge goal with 3.6 seconds left. Win the draw. Justin Schultz going to come in. He's going to help set it up one time. Boom. Drilled the shot. We told you the last power play. Nikita Nikitin has a bomb, and he bombs it right from the point. A big, big goal. And gee, good things happen when you shoot pucks on the power play.
The Oilers get their second power play goal in the season series against Washington, and it comes late in the period. And it is a one-goal game. Well, our next score and win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Purex Laundry Detergent, is Cheryl Talbot of St. Albert, who has won the Hoover Air Cordless Vacuum on the power play goal by Nikita Nikitin. So the Washington Capitals, David, not the only team with a Russian that's got a huge shot.
Welcome back to Washington. A look at Union Station, and we have arrived to the point where we need to tell you about Scotiabank Wednesday night hockey from one nation's capital to another. Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Ottawa Senators Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet. Meanwhile, scoring summaries tonight brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord. Visit WorleyParsonsCord.com to find your place on our construction team. Let's whistle through what's happened so far on the part of these two teams. It was a lot of Washington in the opening period of play, but it is a comeback on the part of Edmonton thanks to that very late goal by Nikita Nikitin, and so we are only a difference of 1 through 40 minutes of play. Well, Drew and Kevin talked about it in the opening period of play that tonight it is a battle between teacher and student when it comes to the two head coaches on the part of the Edmonton Oilers and the Washington Capitals. Going back to their days, 1994, the Portland Pirates of the American Hockey League. And there is a look at Barry Trotz, who was the coach of that hockey team 20-plus years ago. And there was a certain defenseman who was on the team in Warren A. That is Todd Nelson, who was the current coach of the Edmonton Oilers. And this past summer, they had a 20-year anniversary. And if you're having an anniversary in the summer, you have to play some golf, which Todd Nelson did with some of his former teammates. And there's a look at much of the team who gathered to celebrate that great moment 20-plus years ago. And it is a great moment this evening as well on the part of these two coaches who spent about 15 minutes talking yesterday at the Washington Capitals practice facility. A great opportunity for Todd to speak to Barry, and tonight a great opportunity to get another win, which I'm sure for Nelson would feel very good.
4-4-2 is his record, soloing behind the bench.
One thing Todd Nelson said is that throughout his coaching career, he's been able to call Barry, and Barry gets right back to him, and he has some coaching dilemma, and he gets some experience NHLer saying, well, I'd maybe try it this way, and he's been very appreciative of that.
Oh, Victor Foss almost ran into problems in the opening 15 seconds of this period. Hall, Eberle, and Nugent Hopkins will start the third. Hall from the corner to Nugent Hopkins. Ryan Nugent Hopkins was telling Gene he was not happy with his faceoffs. He was 2 wins, 3 losses, but one of those wins resulted in a goal right at the end of the period. Klefbom can't keep it in. Boyd Gordon so far has won 7.
Welcome back to Washington. A reminder, shop at Safeway today. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to a Grand Bahia Prince Bay Resort, courtesy of redtag.ca, where Canada shops for great travel deals. Shop at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner.
Carl Alsner in the penalty box for a hold right along the boards right there. As soon as the puck gets popped out, trying to get a breakout going for Nail Yakupov, held up by Carl Alsner. You're still in this game if you can score in this power play.
Their 5th power play of the game. Carlson sends the puck down the ice. Eberle will go back to get it. He is with Schultz, Nugent Hopkins, Hall, and Pouliot. Nugent Hopkins to Hall. Hall, drop pass for Schultz. Touch for Hall to Nugent Hopkins, back to Hall. Here is Schultz, throws it towards the net with Pouliot providing the screen. Pouliot works it to Eberle, out in front for Nugent Hopkins. It got by him and will chase the Oilers back into their own zone. 21-20, the Oilers out shooting the Capitals, but they trail by 2. Nugent Hopkins drop pass for Hall. Not able to keep it in was Schultz. He got tied up there with Eric Fair. Fair throws it towards the net, and with Beagle there, Foss has to hold on to it. He wanted to play it, but the whistle goes.
Yeah, you don't want the face-off in your zone. Victor Foss knows the situation. He wants to push that out, but Jay Beagle makes a smart play here. Good work along the blue line just for the Capitals pressuring that loose puck. But you got to be able to execute if you're the Oilers. Hustle to the loose puck. Winning those races. When you are on the power play, you have a tendency to kind of relax a little bit, while the penalty killers do the exact opposite. They get amped up. Good power plays will outwork the penalty killers.
Nail Yakupov, Lander, Roy, Purcell, and Nikitin. Anton Lander. Down low for Nail Yakupov, checked by Niskanen. The puck comes free, and it's picked up and sent down the ice by Mike Green. Down to 43 seconds of power play time for the Oilers. Teddy Purcell finds Derek Roy. A bouncing puck is picked off by Jay Beagle. Beagle. To the corner it goes. He just wants to freeze it there. He and Eric Fair have been effective penalty killers on this power play for the Oilers, as Beagle is doing it himself, running time off the clock. Now, it is Teddy Purcell. Purcell gains the line, but it was broken up by Carlson and forces Nikitin back towards his own zone. Nikitin will bring it in for Teddy Purcell. Purcell, behind the net it goes, picked off by Carlson, around the boards and out. And the penalty to Alsner is over. The Oilers 1 for 5 with a man advantage. They did not get a shot on that power play. They have generated 4. Opportunity for Backstrom on the giveaway as he puts it over top of the net. Nicholas Backstrom from the corner. Back to the point it comes. Green takes a look. Backstrom to Green, fakes the big shot. Now throws a soft one towards the cage. Cut off there by Klefbom. Fane to Eberle. Back to Klefbom. Quickly over to Mark Fane. He will play it back to Klefbom, who gives it back to the veteran. Nugent Hopkins to Eberle. Hall racing after it against Green. Takes him down, but the play continues. Jeff Petrie will give it to Andrew Ferentz. Ferentz back to Petrie. Quickly to Eberle. Eberle. Pass intended for Nugent Hopkins was picked off by Backstrom, and Eberle is getting up slowly and making his way over to the Oiler bench, favoring that right leg.
Jack Hillen got him.
Eberle stays on the bench. We'll try and update his condition as soon as we know, but right now we'll take a break.
We're getting closer and closer to the All-Star Weekend and game going on in Columbus, so those of us at Sportsnet want to know, who would you pick first overall in the hashtag NHL All-Star Draft? Vote now in our hashtag SN poll. Holy moly. Talk about tough choices. I'm just going to go John Tavares for no particular reason.
It's one of those things that you're not wrong no matter who you pick of that group.
Teddy Purcell. Long shot. Holtby makes the save. Back to the point. Ferentz lets the long shot go. Holtby steers that aside. Another shot from a sharp angle comes off the stick of Anton Lander. Johansson chips it in, chases it himself against Petrie. Lander picks it up. Just over 9 minutes left to go in regulation time. 2 Oilers have been shaken up in this game. Derek Roy, and the latest being Jordan Eberle.
Both with knees. Been on their knee.
Kept in by Tom Wilson. Well, the Oilers get possession. Hendricks bounces it off Alsner. Klinkhammer cuts for the net, gets spun around, and a penalty coming up. The Oilers will get their 6th chance with the man advantage.
Oh, push and shove.
Hendricks taking exception to the way that Klinkhammer was brought down.
Well, Rob Klinkhammer skating hard through the neutral zone. I think the Sharks, the fact that slams hard in the boards, I think that is a bonus call for the Oilers in that situation. Klinkhammer's driving, but this skate that goes on him is actually his outside skate. He's got balance on the right leg where Jay Beagle was putting the pressure. So a bonus call, a break for the Oilers.
See if they can take advantage with their 6th power play. They were 0 for 4 in the game against Florida on Saturday. They have 1 power play goal here tonight. They need another right now to get themselves back in this hockey game. Pouliot, Eberle, Nugent-Hopkins, Hall, and Schultz start the power play for the Oilers. It is Schultz at the blue line. He will give it to Hall. Hall to the middle for Nugent-Hopkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins down low. Pouliot trying to feed it out in front. It was broken up there by Orpik, who laid flat. Firing his shot is Jordan Eberle. That is good news that he is back on the ice.
Century Casino, welcome to the Winner's Zone.
Referee getting an ovation here at the Verizon Center. I like the fact that the 6 power plays now have gone the Oilers' way.
Jordan Eberle leads this team with 12 goals. 3 of them have come on the power play. Has the puck now. Pouliot is the screen in front. Hall down low, out in front it comes for Nugent-Hopkins. Blocked by Orpik and finished off by Eric Fehr. Quickly back to get it is Schultz. He will lead the rush for the Oilers. Drop pass for Nugent-Hopkins. Steaming right up the middle. Intercepted by Ward. Sends it down the ice. Fost is going to play it.
It's a nice job by Joel Ward, isn't it?
Joel Ward is up front with Brooks Light. It is Carlson and Orpik on the blue line as Hall is checked by Ward. Gives it to Nugent-Hopkins, to Eberle, back up top for Schultz. Schultz to Eberle. To Nugent-Hopkins, off his skate. Nugent-Hopkins waits, back to Schultz. This is Eberle. To Schultz, Schultz to Eberle. Eberle to Nugent-Hopkins. Hopkins can't get the shot away.
Double clutched.
Schultz, diving attempt, but Ward works it out. And this, Light lets the shot go. Fost has to be sharp. As Brooks Light let it go. Washington has just 1 shorthanded goal this season.
Industrious penalty killing, though.
Danny Purcell with a nice drop pass to Yakupov. His shot goes off Carl Alsner and is sent down the ice by Matt Niskanen. Nikitin picks it up. Time winding down in the man advantage. Eric Fehr does the work. And Jay Beagle is back on the ice. And in behind the play, Nail Yakupov down.
What happened on that one? I just saw it just out of the corner of my eye, Nail Yakupov go down. It looks like it's another lower body injury, but anyway, because he's still moving on it, putting some weight on it. It was just behind the play.
Over to the bench. Derek Roy, Jordan Eberle, and Nail Yakupov have all been shaken up in this game.
I think he just kind of loses an edge, so he just kind of catches a little bit. Nail Yakupov's coming in top right of the screen. Yeah, he just goes down. It's like almost like he pulled a hamstring or something.
Keep our eye on that situation. 6:20 left to go here in the third period. It is Hendricks, Klinkhammer, and Gordon. The wagon line going to work for the Oilers. Green, 2 assists on the night for him. Dumps it in. Beagle going after it, along with Tom Wilson and Jason Chimera. Battle of the fourth lines. Chimera throws it towards the net, blocked by Fane. Picked up by Nikitin, under pressure from Beagle. Gordon around the near side to Mark Fane. He'll play it off the boards. Gets it by Hillen. Holtby out to play it. Pass intended for Wilson, got by him, and that will be it for that fourth line shift. Ferentz to the middle for Derek Roy.
Yakupov back on the ice.
Ferentz drops it for Petrie. Just out of his reach, pokes it ahead for Yakupov. Yakupov almost gave it away to Backstrom. Derek Roy with it now to Pouliot. Pouliot circles, throws it behind the net. Petrie down low. Here's Yakupov. He will give it to Derek Roy. Roy. Petrie trying to keep it in against Ovechkin. Ovechkin's offside. Rogers Oilers hockey. It's right here on Sportsnet. The play of the game is brought to you by Rogers. Live like never before.
Nicklas Backstrom in front of the net. Terrific job of knocking the puck down past Victor Foss all by himself. Missed coverage in front of the net. A one-timer from John Carlson on the point. And that has put the Oilers in a big hole. They had a good second period, but the third period not able to capitalize or gain momentum on power play. And Nicklas Backstrom's goal, that's the play of the game, might be the one that really has sunk the Oilers tonight.
He leads this team in assists and points. He's got 47 now. Brooks Laich. Round the boards for Ward. He and Petrie in a race for the puck, and Petrie gets there. Drops it for Hall. Hall avoids the hit from Brooks Laich. Ward is tenacious on the forecheck.
That third and fourth line, they come out and they just overwhelm you with their work ethic.
24 shots for the Oilers, 22 for the Capitals. Who got 3 of their 4 goals in the first period. Anton Lander works his way in. Gets by Niskanen. Purcell scores. Snapping a shot is Teddy Purcell. His first goal in 13 games makes it a 4-3 contest. Wow, what a shot.
You got that right. Good work by the Oilers in first on the forecheck. Get there, fight for the puck. 2 guys versus 2 guys, and the Oilers come out and win that battle, and it's, again, on your stick, off your stick. Good job by Fraser and Anton Lander. Matt Fraser, Anton Lander win the battle down low. Teddy Purcell just gets to a spot where he's going to find the puck, and he snaps it perfectly off the post and in. He's a smart player again. Like Ovechkin's able to find that weak ice. There you are, finding that softer, that weak area. Boom. In the net with a perfect shot.
Teddy Purcell has 23 points in 24 games against the Capitals. And he's got his team right back in it.
Huge goal.
15:49, the time of the goal for Teddy Purcell. Teddy Purcell's got 6 goals on the season. And his team is back within 1. Fane. Up the middle it goes. Long shot by Hendricks, following up on the rebound, but it's covered by Holtby. Well, by shopping at Safeway, Barry Wainsney of Edmonton has won the Garmin Verb Elite HD Action Camera, courtesy of Safeway and Purex Laundry Detergent.
It was a heck of a shot by Teddy Purcell. And now, 3:36, you still got time. The Oilers have shown some very good bounce back shifts and bounce back attitude in this game. The third period has not been strong for them, although they are out shooting the Capitals 26-22, thanks in part to those 6 power play opportunities.
Matt Fraser now has 2 helpers in his last 2 games, and Anton Lander gets his 4th apple of the season on that goal by Teddy Purcell.
And Barry Trotz comes back out with Brooks Laich, Troy Ward, and Eric Fair. That's been a very good line. They get their work done. And Matt Hendricks talked about playing in this type of situation, the types of thing that you've got to, when you're playing for a guy like Barry Trotz, you got to bring your lunch pail and your hard hat, because that's what's going to happen. He played for him in Nashville, and what's going to happen, you're going to go out there, and when you put those guys like Fair, Ward, and Laich out there, you know that they're going to come out and try to put the pressure on in your zone.
And the Oilers counter with their top line with Schultz and Nikitin on the blue line. Eric Fair against Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins wins that clean. Nikitin let a shot go. And Brooks Laich got in the way and deflected that high and out of touch.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins said he didn't like his face-offs. It needs to get better at them. This is a nice face-off right here. Slide underneath the heel of the stick. Get it right back. Boom. Shot towards the net, but nicely blocked by Brooks Laich.
They will do it again. Nugent-Hopkins against Fair. This one a scramble. Orpik sends it around the boards. Nikitin pinching. It comes to Joe Ward. He'll bounce it down. Nikitin reaches for it, plays it in deep. 3 minutes, 11 seconds left to go here in regulation time. The final meeting of the season between the Oilers and the Capitals. The Oilers won a 1-goal game back in October.
Nice.
The Oilers get a change in. It is Derek Roy's line on. Pouliot and Yakupov, along with Klefbom and Petrie. Chimera, Beagle, Wilson, the fourth line for the Capitals. Derek Roy to Oscar Klefbom. He's checked by Jay Beagle. Petrie in there to help out. Petrie knocks down Beagle. Gets right back up, tries to pin the puck in the corner. Chimera coming in to help out. Hard work down in the far corner. Beagle back to the point. Niskanen to Alzner. Yakupov has it now. Plays it right in front for Klefbom. Up to Derek Roy. Roy to the middle for Yakupov. Pushed away there by Alzner and picked up by Chimera. Fourth line shift over for them. Just over 2 minutes left to go in regulation time. Jordan Eberle with the puck now. Victor Foss has gone to the bench. 6 attackers on the ice for the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins with the puck. Checked by Orpik. Hall pinned by Backstrom. Fights him off. Gets it to Eberle. Back to the point. Nikitin will give it to Schultz. Schultz. Purcell lets it go. Holtby the save. And he will hang on to it.
Protecting what matters most to you and your team. You are covered with the power of Insight, the official construction insurance broker of the Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton Oilers take a timeout with 1:36 left to go in regulation time.
Teddy Purcell up high. He's the guy that comes out for Victor Foss. And on that particular play, he's shooting up from high in the point. Although Braden Holtby saw that shot all the way. Jordan Eberle tried to be in front. Taylor Hall released out to the side, and he looked like he wanted that kind of a shot pass opportunity. He was a little disappointed on that whole thing.
Victor Foss came into this game, Drew, with 72 saves in his last 2 starts. He has made 18 in this game.
So Boyd Gordon coming out on the ice, as you see, number 27, along with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Why do you do that? 2 centermen just in case one gets kicked out. Teddy Purcell comes on the bench. Victor Foss played after the second period, or starting the second period, he played really well. Now he's cheering his guys on. I like Victor. He's got some fire in him. I like that.
Boyd Gordon against Nicholas Backstrom. The net for the Oilers empty. 1:36 on the clock. Gordon wins it to Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins, quick shot there by Petrie. Wow. And he hammered that on to Holtby, who makes the glove save.
Exactly the play you want. Exactly the play you want. Win the face-off. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins over Jeff Petrie, one-timer. Braden Holtby, though, comes across. Beautifully athletic save, gets the splits and flashes the letter. Wow.
He has made 25 saves so far tonight.
Well, the Oilers have 7 guys out there. That's one too many.
Schultz will go off. Nikitin stays out there. Nugent-Hopkins in the face-off circle. To the corner it goes. Eberle to Hall. To Nikitin. Hammers a shot. Just missed. Chance for Roy. Pouliot gets possession. Nugent-Hopkins to Nikitin. Across to Hall. Hall to Eberle. Back to Hall. Pouliot sweeps it around for Nugent-Hopkins. Out in front. Scores! Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, his first goal in 10 games, has tied it at 4.
Tom Nelson looks up at the clock. How much time is there left? Just fire the puck towards the net. You've got bodies there, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just wants to get that puck there. John Carlson, who's been so good tonight, has a bad break. He's going to go over and pressure. He wants to pressure, stick down, take away the passing lane, goes off of Carlson, but I think Derek Roy gets a stick on this. No. Yeah, just goes straight in off of John Carlson. Turn, look, you got bodies there, fire the puck towards the net, just deflects off of Carlson, goes in the net with bodies there, 1:07 left, and the Oilers have tied it.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' 12th goal of the season. He and Jordan Eberle share the team lead. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins picked a great time to end his scoring drought as he has tied this game at 4. And Victor Foss, as you said, is back in the nets as Annette Crosswhite of Leduc County, shopped at Safeway on behalf of Safeway and Durex Laundry Detergent, has won the Lagostina 10-piece cookware set on the goal by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with Pouliot and Eberle getting the assists at 18:53. And it is a 4-4 game with 53.4 seconds left in regulation time. Hendricks to Klinkhammer. Rob Klinkhammer chips it in. He'll chase it himself against Niskanen. Halsner around the boards it goes. Picked up by Backstrom. Backstrom gets it to center. And the Oilers put it right back in. 29 shots they have fired the way of Braden Holtby. The Capitals have countered with 23. Fox will leave it there for Ferentz. Down to 20 seconds. Carlson to Orpik. Brooks Orpik goes cross ice. Picked up by Light. Light behind the net. Throws it out in front with one hand. Fair looking for it, but Foss has it.
I want to show you the face-off that just happened. This is really good play by the Edmonton Oilers. Well designed here. You know that Ovechkin's the go-to guy. Brouwer gets the bump on Hendricks, but on the outside man, which is Klinkhammer, he's making the run. So that's a nicely designed play defensively by the Oilers staff. The bump by Brouwer, that interferes with Hendricks, but Klinkhammer reads it, going to take away Ovechkin, because you know that's the play that the Capitals wanted. Well done by the Oilers.
Now just 2.7 on the clock. Boyd Gordon in there to take this draw against Backstrom. Watch how low Gordon gets on this one. He wins that draw, and we are going to overtime. And for the Edmonton Oilers, it's the second straight game.
But for the Edmonton Oilers, that's a different Oiler team than we saw earlier in the year. They get down 2-0 that quick in a game. It's 5-2, 5-1, and you know it's a tough game to watch. This is a team that bounced back and bounced back and bounced back and showed quite a bit of resilience so far tonight.
Gene.
Well, Drew and Kevin, the Goals for Kids program is proudly sponsored by Synovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Synovus will donate $400 to Kidsport. To date, thanks to that late goal, the Oilers have scored 108 times this season for a total of $43,200.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on a 2-point night has 29 points on the season. And now in 5 games, he has 4 points against the Washington Capitals.
That goal by Nicholas Backstrom, I thought that was the one. That was the one. It's just too much to come back.
Alex Ovechkin started the night hot.
And you got to watch him in overtime. The first goal is a bomb. Boom. Top corner beats the glove of Victor Foss. And then on the power play, that was another opportunity. Slapping the stick, wants that puck, wanted that puck. Early in the game, he was all over, wanted the puck, had his feet moving. Puck seemed to follow him over and over again, was working for his chances. And then on the power play, he winds up and drills one home, and that was 2-0. And it looked like, boy, Ovechkin's hot. The Capitals are rolling, they're executing, and it could be a long night for the Edmonton Oilers just before their All-Star break. But the Oilers have bounced back, bounced back, bounced back. 3 separate times they've come back.
And one of the key goals turned in at 1956 of the second period. Yes. And it was a 3-1 game. And the Keaton's power play marker made it 3-2.
Good face-off win by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Some help from Justin Schultz and the bomb from Nikita Nikitin.
The 12th time this season that the Oilers go to overtime. They went to a shootout in Florida on Saturday, and it was Nail Yakupov who won it. Eberle starts with Nugent Hopkins, Klefbom, and Schultz. Backstrom, Ovechkin, Carlson, and Orpik. Ovechkin knocks down Klefbom. We talked about it off the top. Ovechkin 6th in the league in hits. Here comes Eberle with speed across the blue line. Jordan Eberle against John Carlson. Waits back up top. It comes for Klefbom. He'll give it to Schultz. Schultz back to Klefbom. Lets a shot go. Holtby saw it all the way and hangs on to it.
Oscar Klefbom saying sorry to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins looked like he maybe wanted to release here. Shot, see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins releases from in front. That actually moves a little bit, but Braden Holtby calmly stops it.
Hall, Purcell, Fane, and Nikitin on there now. Purcell and Nikitin both with goals tonight. Fair against Hall. Fair wins that draw, gets it to Niskanen. Fair and Leik are up front for the Capitals. Karl Alzner across the blue line. Drop pass for Eric Fair. Throws it towards the net. Deflected by Leike and Nikitin on him as the puck goes in to the netting.
Looked like that might have been a 2-on-1, but a lot of hustle by the Oilers come back to delay that rush, number one, and then be able to take away from a 2-on-1. It's 2-on-1 coming out of the zone. Mark Fane, though, up. He reads, takes away the play. Good back check, good back pressure. Everybody seems to be okay, well secured. Ulster tries to run a little bit of interference. Nikitin's coming back with Brooks Light.
Roy wins that draw. Roy and Pouliot. Petrie falling down, but gets the puck out. Niskanen almost gave it away to Derek Roy. Here comes Jason Chimera. Chimera, his shot goes off Ferentz to the corner. Joel Ward checked by Petrie. Jeff Petrie starts away with a one-handed pass to Benoit Pouliot. Pouliot down the left side, moving in against Alzner. Pass for Ferentz. Ferentz tied up, but Derek Roy tried to get that puck back to Pouliot.
Pouliot was set for a shot, too.
Joel Ward picks it up. Oilers making changes. Alzner waits. He's got Hall watching him. Ovechkin cruises back into his own zone. It is Hall and Purcell up front. Backstrom to Ovechkin. Ovechkin lost it. And here comes Teddy Purcell. Purcell, quick pass to Hall. Hall just inside the blue line. Being watched by Matt Niskanen. Hall trying to make a one-on-one move against the former Dallas Star. Hard pass in front for Schultz, but a good defensive play turned in by his counterpart wearing 19, Backstrom. Green now against Klefbom. Circles the net. Mike Green still has it. Green from the blue line. To Carlson. Carlson with a pass to Backstrom. Backstrom goes cross ice. Picked up there by Green. Handled by Hall, and Hall gets it out.
Close there. The fans are yelling for it. Almost another closing your hand on the puck penalty to Taylor Hall there.
Carlson chips it to the corner. Ovechkin beaten there by Fane. Fane played it off behind the net, but instead he put it off the post. Here's Ovechkin with a wrist shot. Stopped by Victor Foss.
Challenged there by Victor Foss. A little bit of a rattled situation in this Oilers zone, though.
Hall with it now. Gets the puck in deep. That will allow a change with just over 2 minutes left to go in overtime. Green. Circling the net. Not able to do anything with it was Kuznetsov. Eberle. To Petrie. Wrist shot. Holtby the save. The rebound cleared away by Brooks Orpik.
You heard Jeff Petrie yell for that puck up here.
Holtby juggled that save. Nikitin. The Oilers making a change. The pass intended for Petrie. Here's a chance now moving in. Johansson. Backtrack there by Nikitin. Troy Brouwer gives it. Brouwer from the corner. Schultz watching him. Back to the point. Orpik. Niskanen. Can't get a good shot away. Broken up there by Derek Roy. Schultz gets possession, finds an open wing and gets it out with less than a minute to go in the extra period. Orpik, right up the middle. Pass intended for Brouwer. Derek Roy on the near side. He'll play it back. Nikitin will lead the rush as the Caps make changes. He'll go right up the middle for Derek Roy. Pouliot and Roy. A bouncing puck is picked up by Schultz. He'll bring it in himself. Checked by Green. Green. Brooks Light with it now. Light with Fair driving the net. Bobbled it. Klefbom takes it away. Carlson back into his own zone. Mike Green surveying the situation. Pass up for Light, lost his edge. And the Oilers bring it back in. Teddy Purcell. Schultz in deep. Schultz centers it out in front, and sliding back there was Mike Green. And for the second straight game, the Edmonton Oilers are going to a shootout.
At the end of overtime, the score remains tied. Oilers coming very close to winning this game in overtime. Jeff Petrie up the wide side. He's yelling for the pass, going, yeah. He gets it now. He's just going to snap it. Looks like it might roll in, but just taken away. Some terrific help coming back. Just taking that opportunity away. It looks like they thought they had won it. On the bench, they're like, yes! Boy, Gordon actually watching up at the clock, which you never see. You had guys who started watching the ice, they're looking up at the big screen. Watch it in 3D, it seems better.
The Oilers went to a shootout Saturday at Sunrise, Florida.
Now, Yakupov, unbelievably his first shootout attempt ever, and he's beautiful on it, finishes, and Victor Faust was spectacular. Nothing fooled him. He was jacked up for that win. He had a heck of a game. He was first star that night, and he's going to be called upon again to be just as brilliant as he was in Florida.
6 times.